5:38. It'll be sunrise in about 45 minutes. By my standards, it's chilly. It's 15 degrees. It was a bit nippy last night. When you're used to 45, 50 degrees, this kind of seems cool. So I'll have to get used to this and cooler before I go back and camp in Canada. I slept off and on last night. The wind shifted. Before it was going this way when I first arrived, so I put a tarp on the other side of this. But then by about 10 o'clock, the wind came this way from there. So the tarp blew quite a bit last night, and just the noise kind of kept me awake. Anyway, this is a bit late for me to get up. I'm just so toasty in the sleeping bag. Well, up and at 'em. What I always do is, before I actually get out of bed, I deflate my sleeping pad. It's easier when you're lying down. Oh, now it's lumpy. A couple of weeks ago I slept in the backyard and I set my tent and sleeping pad up fairly early, and I didn't close the doors on the tent, and one of my cats got in and scratched a little hole in the sleeping pad. Luckily I discovered it, of course, because it had a really slow leak, and I had to inflate the pad a couple times throughout the night. So I fixed that up. I think it was used tenacious tape, which seems to stick to anything. And this is the second time I've used it since I repaired it. It's holding strong. Everything is covered with a fine dust. That's the thing, right? That's the thing about the desert. Especially with the wind blowing this way. Over there it's just flat. Sort of like a flat mini plane, so the dust just lifted up quite easily. That's normal for Saudi Arabia. Around here though, it's a really fine dust. It's actually nice for it to be cold. It's always easier to put more clothes on than it gets so hot. You just, you take things off, but you just can't go any further and you're still hot. Well, I think I'll keep this thermal shirt on, at least for a while. When I was in Canada over the summertime, I brought my head torch and my flashlight. Because it gets dark so late and light so early, I didn't actually use it. I only used my flashlights once, and that was when I was early in the morning, when I was decamping early in the morning. So I use them more here. Yeah. I need a coffee. scorpions? I've got a sun digital thermometer, and it tells me it's 15 degrees Celsius, which is 60 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't have my GPS with me today, and my GPS has a tarp little thermometer Bluetooth attachment, so it's nice to have this battery powered one. U-book. Glad I closed it last night. Dusty. Well, that's the outside of my tarp on the outside of this little building, so you can see where all the air holes are that I covered up. Well, it's 6:10. The sun hasn't actually come up yet, but again, this camera makes things look a lot lighter than it really is. Let's just do a 360. I just lit up the stove and I got the water on the boil. As you can see, I'm wearing my puffy and a watch cap. Little nippy wind coming from that way. At least what I call the nippy wind. I love this little shelter. I'm guessing at some point it had a roof on it. But whoever built it spent quite a bit of time. The amount of effort to lift some of these things, I don't even think two people could do it. I got a lot of my stuff packed up. While I was filming the sunrise, I packed away the tarp. Here comes the sun. Little baby. coffee because I'm going to make 2 cups, which will equate to over a liter. Oh, coffee. Hey, my little hot lips has been munched on by, I'm guessing, a mouse or something, because it wasn't like this last night when I got to bed. And the thing is, this was up. So whatever it was big enough to get up there. Oh, the dirty rat. I've got an extra. I ordered an extra couple hot lips. I think I've got one in my emergency pack, and I've got another one at home. Live and learn. Put the hot lips away at night. I know the mice out here are kind of like kangaroo mice. I can't really pack much away till I finished cooking, because my gas cylinder and my pots and pans and plate and stuff, they go in the bottom. I've already got my sleeping stuff in the very bottom of the pack, so just above that is where I tend to put my heavier stuff, and then on top of that I'll put everything else. Top of the morning to you. I love this part of the day just after the sun has come up. It's nice to be awake to watch it. It's not even, it's 6:28. So I've been up for an hour. I don't know how far to go to the car. Maybe an hour. Well, it's a good thing my favorite colors are tans, sands, olives, browns, because you get a lot of that here in the desert. Of course, I miss the greenery of Ontario and Canada, and all the water that you Canadians that you take for granted, perhaps. And my girlfriend asked me before I came out here yesterday, "Why do you come out? All you do is sit around and read a book." I said, "Well, it's just getting out, being here alone, and sort of in preparation for my times in Canada. I mean, preferably I'd like to be out fishing and exploring and being on the water and all that kind of stuff, but you can't do that here. But it's a different kind of outdoors here. They're only one-nighters also because I work during the week. You know, if I was doing a two-nighter out here, I'd be kind of bored silly, because besides hiking and, you know, all you know, from camp to camp, all you'd really be doing is sitting around, because you can't, for instance, go for a paddle in the boat, in the boat, in the canoe, in the pack boat. Can't go for a fish, can't catch your sauper. If I wanted to catch my sauper here, I'd have to kill me a camel. Kill me a camel. Let's do a morning 360. Here's my cat hole. I wasn't able to dig it that deep, so I'll have to cover it up. I'll put a big rock on top of it, assuming I have my morning poop. Well, I've done my business. I buried it and I put a rock on top of it, and you can see my supplies. There's a trowel in there, toilet paper, and baby wipes. You need them baby wipes. That's my Snow Peak 600 titanium. Take a look at what the mouse or whatever did to my hot lips. That wasn't very nice of him. Luckily, the way he's munched it, it's still usable. It doesn't actually affect the insulation properties. The hot lips, what it does is, because the cup gets so hot on your lips that it's really hard to drink a hot drink. So that just protects your lips. You can buy those, the hot lips, in packs of 2. So I would think like that would fit on other cups also, as long as they have a fairly thin brim. You could probably put them on almost any cup. Okay, let's pack up pots and pans. First of all, I take off my hot lips, put it in. Maybe I'll give that just a little bit of a wipe. Hot lips. My MSR Pocket Rocket 2. Put that in a little bag. Put that in my main pot. Put the lid on the pot. Put my coffee filter. There you go. And with my gas. Okay. As I say, I've got all my sleeping stuff down here, and then on top of that, but in around the middle of the pack, I'll put my heavier stuff. I'll actually put my gas on one side, my stove on the other. 7:22, time to mount up. Let's see if I can do this without things getting caught up. Make sure my belt is tight enough. My belt, not my waistband belt. This is my anchor charger and all my camera batteries and stuff. So this conveniently fits on the front. It's just a bit of a pain when you want to take your pack off. You have to take this off first, but gotta live with it. It's 61 degrees Fahrenheit. 16 degrees Celsius. Oh, I feel quite a bit lighter. Water. Okay. So we're on the road, 7:26. Should probably be back at the car by 8:30 or so. Okay. Goodbye, sweet home. You've been good to me. Not the plushest abode, but it provided a good windbreak. It was actually a little bit different than usual. Well, I didn't have to worry about scorpions or camel spiders cowboy camping. Well, I did worry about them, but I didn't see any. Besides that mouse or whatever was munching on my hot lips, there's not even any birds up here. So it's pretty quiet. Ho hum. Usually when I hike, I'll hike down below through this funnel and up a different level. Way over there you can see my car maybe. So I don't have that far to go. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Al-Bada is just over there, you can see it. And maybe 60 kilometers over there is Derma. Highway goes all the way along there. Highway is probably 12k that way. Times like this, it's good to be alive. This is why I come out here. The girlfriend asked me, why do you come out here? All you do is sit around, read a book, and you walk with a pack on your back. Yeah, duh. That's the beauty of it. The great outdoors. And I believe it's, they say it's good for the mental health to get out. For me, it's a bit of meditation, get away from the hustle and bustle. I've recently been assigned to a new project at work that is very busy, a lot of pressure. I mean, I'm reporting to company heads, and I'm just a cog in the chain of command. I'm way down there, and I'm reporting to the top of the top. And if I screw up, it comes down to good old Rod. The buck stops here. So it's nice to get out here and forget all the worries, get away from the city noise, get away from the telephones, get away from the computers. Just look at this. This is just so beautiful. The desert is beautiful in a different way than Canadian outdoors, for instance. I always call this a stark beauty. But right after a rain shower, this is really nice because all the browns come up and all the bushes and stuff right now. There's a few of them around. They're all dusty, but the rain will clean them off. They'll be green and little things will sprout up. I don't know. It's just beautiful. It's nice to be out here. $8.19. It's 18 degrees right now. I always loosen these when I take it off. One thing I forgot to do last night is send the girlfriend a message on my Garmin inReach to say that I'm at camp. It's the evening and everything is okay. I arrived okay. But she was probably in the air or possibly at Dubai airport. She's going to Tbilisi in Georgia. But I will send one now to say that I've arrived back at the car and I'm safe. I also send one to myself at the same time just to make sure it's working. With the Garmin inReach you can have 3 preset messages which are free to send. I've got one, number 1, that says I'm setting out. Number 2 is everything's okay. Usually I send those ones at the end of every evening. And the last one, number 3, is this is Rod, I'm safely back at the car. Everything is a-okay. So let me send that. Let's see how long it takes. Oh, that was really quick. If you remember yesterday when I sent the message setting off, it took almost 3 minutes, but that was because I had just turned it on, I believe. But this has been on all night. So now that it's sent the message, I can turn it off. Let's just see what the charge is. Yeah, it looks like it only used about 1/4 of a charge. Well, that was another successful trip. That was just a quickie. Wasn't even a 5K hike. But it was nice. I went somewhere I hadn't been before. It's 8:30. I should be back in Riyadh by roughly 10 o'clock. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Again, thanks for joining me. And until I see you next time, take care.